Hi folks, welcome back and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I've had something given to me. It's quite remarkable. I don't know what the word is really to describe this, but however, okay. What I'm going to give you to show you today is the real meaning of the Tetragrammaton. For anyone who's not familiar with this, the Jews who are not Jews, they actually should be they're Jews, not Jews. I'll go into that code again later. It's on my first video, but just to show you that this is, well, really this ties it up, also ties it to being to do with the Wales being the biblical Holy Land. Okay, so what I'm going to decode or show you is the real meaning behind the Tetragrammaton and what it is. We know this associates with Yahweh, but like I say, the Jews, you know, I don't want to offend anybody, but unfortunately the things I'm given, and the whole thing behind this is to prove that Yahweh is real, and he is, believe me, he is, and that all this is planned out, and this is just the way it's been done, to put the truth in the land, I guess, at the right time, you know, and well, through me. But okay, let's just take it. The first part of breaking the Tetragrammaton is by knowing the secret, or one of the secrets of the Phoenix. Now, the Phoenix star constellation connects to G-Rus, which obviously, well, that then makes the connection with Jerusalem, or the real Jerusalem, and effectively, as in my first video, if you've watched it on the Zoom meeting, basically it's about hooking up and lifting the Phoenix, pulling the crane, or connecting to the crane, and then the crane lifting up, the G-Rus being the crane. But it's a clever what's the word, secondary use, because obviously the crane is a bird, but it also it is a literal modern day crane, showing that he's obviously aware of everything, and he's obviously put all this into place, and he knew what a crane was before we did, before it was invented. But however, right, the Phoenix. So if I write the word Phoenix, the first thing you do is change the PH to an F, because phonetically it's Phoenix, or pharmaceutical, wrong terminology for this time and place, or maybe the right terminology, but basically a PH, a pharaohs, who are actually pharaohs or pharaoh hair people, but ultimately it's an F. So what we do is we keep that one, change that to an F, then we bring down the letters. So we have a phonics. Okay. What we do from here is we anagram the Phoenix, and we bring down these letters. And what we get is F, I, X, O, N, E. So basically what it's telling us is we need to fix on an E, So what I'm going to do is fix the E on there, and we now have a tetragrammaton. This is quite important, because that's what I get in my head. It's like well, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a frequency tone. But this will all make sense now as I show you. So we fixed on the E. That's one of the secrets of the Phoenix. Okay, so from the Tetragrammaton, this is what we get. So we get E, M, O, T, E A N A G R A M. Remote anagram, and now we have just the only letters we've got left are a T and a T. That doesn't make sense now because this ties with another code. Okay, so we've got a remote anagram TT. Now the good thing about this is people ask me questions, and at the time I can't answer them. I don't know anything about spirituality and all these type of things, and until a year and a half, maybe getting on for 2 years ago, I had no clue about any of it, literally any of this, or I had no idea that I was going to end up, to be here doing this now. But ultimately I am, and this explains how this all works. Okay, and how this, I don't speak to angels and literally hear voices, and it's good. This is the way it was meant to be, because it's done in a way that there's I'd like to think that there's nothing left to doubt how this is real, even with the codes in the land and the symbols and the all the Solomon decoding. But it's I didn't go to university, or I haven't had had an average education. I spent my life doing jobs. I did have a business, but obviously I gave that up to do this. But anyway, so the TT. So I've explained this before, but unfortunately my Facebook have kindly deleted my entire profile now, and along with every single code. Fortunately, though, I know these codes, and all I got to do is just pull them down from the remote anagram, because they seem to store once they're there. But sometimes when I open it, it's like a tsunami of code that comes out. So hence me stumbling a bit when I'm talking, because it tends to overrun me sometimes. Right, remote anagram TT. So here comes the Wales connection. How does this work? What happens? How do I get? How does this all come in? What does the tone do? Well, the first thing is to know it is all to do with consciousness, because this is how I get it. Everything is done through my consciousness, with this tone going down. Basically, it seems to, well, it does. It downloads. It's like a frequency tone in my head. Okay, so the next thing it does, it puts words into my head. Obviously, I'm not aware of what these words are at the time. They're ready, downloaded, ready for the right time, or the timing, which then is set off by a trigger. It can be something on, I don't know, watching TV, or I'll see a sign. I'll see a sign or something, and I see the word within, or the anagram within the words, pretty much. And then this triggers the timing, the trigger, and then this triggers the code, which I obviously send out and was posting. Now I'm doing it by a video. Okay, so the last part of this, and the covenant, or the deal that I made with Yah when I agreed to do this, which I did, to do it for my children, and it's a long story, but basically the main is the thing I must do without fail is follow his rule. This effectively means we're not working on the Sabbath day, which is a Saturday, and in the industry I'm in, getting work to be in security and SIA, it's quite it's quite heavily loaded to a Saturday. But by Yah's hand in miracle. I followed his, you know, I've stuck with it and I've done it, and every Saturday I stay in and I don't go out, and this is one of the most important things I think of this whole. And you know, and the thing I think that he's more well, seems to be, I would suggest, more annoyed about that they've broken his rule and they've changed the Sabbath to a Sunday. And I think this is, well, no, I don't think, I know we're heading back. Things are going to happen that are going to take us back to, you know, the Sabbath on a Saturday. And but for now, obviously I follow his rule, and then what happens is it goes back to the beginning and this all begins again. This doesn't necessarily, in fairness, this bit doesn't necessarily happen once a week. It can happen twice a day, 3 times a day at times. Another time there can be a couple of days between it, but it's pretty consistent. But it comes at this, you know, he says I purposed it and it will happen. So what this really is well, it's the divine plan from creation. There's been the Tetragrammaton, I would suggest, is, well, it is. It's, I don't know whether, it's hard to explain it, but it's obviously something that's there that I've plugged in by coming right and being called and coming right. I've plugged into it, kept his rule, and this is. But then this sort of just takes form and happens. Okay, but the first thing you'll notice, we've got the remote anagram, we've got the T and the T. So it's the timing, and it's the remote anagram, the timing and the trigger. Okay, and that gives you, and this all relates, which I think the next bit starts with on the map, which is on a tick-tock line. But he says, cleave unto me, which when you put these, because a lot of this is coded in the land. Well, this is a place called Clevedon, just outside Bristol. And it's basically, if you break it down, it's cleaved on. And it's just across the water on the River Severn, which is the Sabbath, basically, the Sabbath River, which I sort of decoded, well, show the decode of how they split the Sab into Bath. The Sab and the Bath effectively, symbolically breaking the Sabbath River. So anyway, but I've cleaved on, and this is where this begins, a tick-tock line, and to the sort of final part of this remote anagram. This also indicates a double cross as well, which is a double X. I'll explain that as we go on, but effectively cleaved on is, and cwtch is the Welsh word for hug. So because he said cleaved on, I cleaved on, followed his rule, got the cwtch, and then so the remote anagram downloads all these codes to me, and so the cycle continues. Okay, how does this fit on a map? This is where it's difficult, because I've got no way, unfortunately, I don't know how to do this screen share and everything else. So you're going to have to either take my word on it that these places do hit exactly what I'm saying they hit, or you can line them up on a map yourself. But effectively, what you've got is coming along on the English side of the river. You've got the River Severn goes there, and Jerusalem is, I don't know, it's around, say there roughly, I mean, like you can see it on a map and you can pinpoint it. There's another code that leads off this as well, which is incredible. But effectively from there, what you've got just on the river, you've got Clevedon. Okay, and this is the first of the line. Now, my line's not going to be straight, but if you follow this line, you can draw a line all the way straight to a place called Tockingham. Okay. Well, talking, obviously a clock ticks and talks, and it's the clock is ticking in talking, ticking and talking in Ham, because right by here in Bristol, you've got a place called Tickingham. Okay, now along this line, there is one place in particular, and if I had to estimate where it is, this is in Swindon, incidentally, which is part of my other map, which actually is Wyn's Nod, the biblical land of Nod, for one, and sorry, Wyn's the Nod. Okay, so and this is on my other big map, my big bow map, which again I haven't broken down on here yet, but I will do. Okay, so we've got a Tickenham and a Tockenham line. Now, this is where it gets bizarre. Well, I say bizarre, it's incredible, but there's a place on my way to work. I come off the M4 and there's a sign, which is, I believe it's, which sign? It's sat one side or t'other of this line, but you've got a place called Sutton Bengor. Which looks innocent enough. Just to note as well, incredibly, around give or take around this point, you have Noah's Ark Farm Zoo. Okay. Now the Solomon safe area code basically says it comes from the Holy Head. You draw the line down, hits Llanmelin Fort. I can't really do this on there too cleverly, but then you've got Jerusalem. These are the two stars in Cancer, so you've got the one there, Cancer, one there, and then what happens is one feeds off down here to Exeter or Egypt, which is biblical Egypt. Again, I'll have to explain this. And the other line goes, well, this is not a good, this is totally out of sync, but it goes to Swindon. The Holy Head, instead of being, as I've said, is you've got Canaan, biblical Canaan, which is also, when decoded, was the swine don or the swine king. That's how I got the code, or the wording and the picture, the pig with the crown on it, and was able to know where to actually place it. So you've got Canaan. This is the land of Canaan. This is the land of Egypt. Exeter is the key point, where Exodus it was pretty obvious, to be fair. And then this is a big long line up, and this goes to the, if you look at Wales with the map, there's on Holy Head Island, Anglesey is Angel, yes, but I'll come to that. Again, this connects. You effectively got a Holy Head. Well, this attaches there. So you've got this being, where's Yahweh. Sorry, you've got Yahweh. This is the secret spelling, but again I'll come to that, but this is the secret spelling of his name. And if you look, you've got the River Wye, W-Y-E in there, but that's part of the code as well. Is the River Wye, which runs off somewhere, give or take, I don't know, the 7 bridges, somewhere there. You've got 2 bridges. And then you've got the River Wye, feeds off up this way, and up into Wales, and effectively it makes the picture of when you see it, it makes the picture. It's effectively the yew tree of life. That's what it represents. Okay, without getting too deep, this is Judea. the land of Judea, not Judah, not Judea. It's the land of Judea. It's the U in the deer. It's, again, I'll come to the breaking down of that at a later date. But the U's and the D's. Okay. So I've gone completely off the track here. But this basically, you've got the sign of Cancer. That's awful because this is a lot longer, obviously, and that's the exact sign of Cancer. Well, C answer, B arc. Crab backwards is B arc. C answer is Cancer. Use the C as the C to see it, and then it's just answer. It's phonetically answer. The remaining part is answer. So C answer, B the arc. Okay. You've also got the beehive cluster there, which also is part of the milk and honey, because it's in the Milky Way. You've got the land of the milk and the land of honey. The beehive cluster, which sits on that as well. But I'll come to that later on when we break more and more of the stars down. Right, I've made a complete mess of this, but right, okay. So you've got Noah's Ark farm. Right. What I'm going to do is take that. I'm going to scrub this. So we've got a ticket. We've got the cleaved on line. So this is the line of the Cwtch. Basically, there's the Cwtch on one side of the river is the Welsh Cwtch, and there's your cleaved on. So I've cleaved on, got the Cwtch, and this is now giving me this line with Sutton Bengor. Okay. Okay, Sutton Bengor. Notice the double T. This generally indicates a double cross. Obviously, my Cwtch is undoing the double crossing, but this is, and I think I was going to do a video on something else, but I brought this one forward. Well, I have. I mean, well, what I'm getting is we need to get people's attention, so they know what the outcome of all this is going to be, and really to take heed of what we're saying. So, right. So the first thing I'm going to do is, right. The first code is, if I've got the spelling right now, is R U E B E N T T double cross G, sorry, you said Bengor G. I've seen G Roos in there as well. Okay, G-R-U-S-E. Sorry, G-R-U-S. You've got G Roos there, that's incredible. Never didn't spot that one. However, G Reuben double cross S O, and use the G N. Okay. Well, the first, right, the area of this, right, Reuben is the decoded tribe of the 10th. Let's just put that because this is so important. The 10th tribe of the tribes of decoded tribes of Israel are the tribe of Reuben, who are in fact the right. I'm going to do, yeah, I'll do it as they write it, but I'm being assured that it's attribates, and they call it, well, and even to hide this and put you under a spell of the spell. Again, this is all about spells and spelling, but the attribates they call it. But if you actually break that spell and look at it for what it is, it's the attribates. Okay, so we've got the 10th tribe of the attribates. The attribates actually sit within that line, the line. And you get different maps, and they'll put the attributes in all over the place. But I can tell you now, well, this even covers it. It's on sort of along the M4 corridor, effectively, with the 10th tribe was. Okay, so we've got the 10th tribe attributes. Now this is where it gets, and these are they're the sons, the fallen sons, basically. This is the root of Rome. I've stated it all along. They're the root of the Roman Empire. Rome did not start in Rome, it started in Britain. Okay, however, to get into that at this point, it's going to just confuse it. So I'm going to go with the 10th attributes. They're the attribate son, or the rogue son, if you want to call it. Now, on that note of a rogue son, we also have an unknown that they play down 10th planet. A rogue planet called Planet X. And when I say about these being Rome, it's notable as well that they're the 10th, tribe, and the Roman numeral for 10 is in fact X. Okay, so this is one of the fallen crosses, or the double cross, because the double cross is a fallen cross as well. But the 10th planet is called Planet X. Okay, now if that isn't enough to prove that this is what is unfortunately, well, sadly coming, I have no idea when. However, I do feel, and there are signs out there that this is already unfolding with all the earthquakes and everything else that's going on. But obviously, I'm assuming we're getting a bit of time to put this right, get this message out there, which is why it really needs to go out there. But just to back this up as well, obviously we've got the 10th tribe of Reuben, well, being the attributes, which is, again, they're the rogue tribe, and this is a rogue planet, a Planet X, Planet 10, 10th tribe, 10th planet. Well, Reuben is also an anagram of, I won't cross it out, but you can check this yourself. Neberu. If you Google, you'll have to Google to get Neberu or Neberu. You'll have to spell it to pull it up, or I don't know. You might get it under that, but it's Neberu. But the Babylonian name, or a secondary name, it gives it, but clearly it's not. It is actually the name of this planet, the destroyer. And the Old Testament does speak of the destroyer and the angel of death passing. I never thought it'd be the bringer of doom and gloom, but there is hope, because there is a Solomon safe area key, a key code, which again I'm going to have to do again. I don't know whether I showed it on the first video. But effectively, Jerusalem and the Fort Land Melin are actually in the safe area key code. It's a combined nations safe area code, and it comes with cancer as well, which is when you see a safe and it's got the three things you spin around. It even takes that into account. But ultimately, this is the absolute final end. But it's difficult to explain this, because we're unable to see this for some reason. Well, I'm pretty sure I know why, but I don't want to go into this to take the sort of messaging this away at the moment. But effectively, Nibiru, so not only is it the 10th tribe, the rogue tribe, but the attribates, the 10 is the X, the X son as well, because this is effectively, this is what has become the British establishment, and the royals and everything else. This is Canaan. This is Canaan, or the modern day British Canaan includes the Freemasons. Or the Masons is free, and Freemasons is free sons. So they consider themselves free of Yah, which they did, and they've taken the opportunity, along with what's became Rome, and basically they've buried everything, buried the creators or as best they can, every memory of him, and left everything in code. Obviously, my job, Book of Job as well, is to uncode it the way I'm showing you with the Tetragrammaton and all that goes with it. But realistically, this is what is ultimately coming this way, and he does say he ends it with fire. But there will be a remnant of his rule that will be saved. Now, I really hope and pray that remnant of 7.3 billion people, that remnant is going to be huge. And I do not believe the 144,000 and the Gentiles. This is all a psyop. It really, Revelations is just their best guess at Old Testament prophecy. You could create Revelations, and all they've done is added in things of their own that they now have to carry out without getting into that. That's actually happening as we speak. But it's all Revelations is deception. It's just old prophecy. The first thing is there is no. I know that again this is going to upset people, but I have to say it, that there is no return of a Messiah, because there is no Messiah come or has ever been. There's one Messiah in the Old Testament. He turns up at the time, at the end, and well, how it all plays out, I don't know. But once he puts it right, it's put right for good, and and the remnant live in peace forever. And once this is done, that is what's going to happen. So, but please don't turn away from this if you're a Christian, because the whole thing with this is to prove beyond doubt through, well, if it's all coincidence, it can't be. It's impossible to be coincidence. So please don't turn away from this. Just please look for truth and stick with these videos. Keep following it, and once if at the end of it you don't believe it, then fine. Well, there's nothing I can do more to help. But obviously we want to get as many people to turn to Yahweh, the Creator, and get saved from this, and that's what you need to do. Okay, and I will show you symbolically. There's a way. I sort of touched on it in the last one. There's a rope from a mine, but even that is all code leading up to it. However, I'm going to leave it there for now and let you digest this. But don't lose heart because of this. There's hope. Just keep following these videos. But if you could like and share these videos, that would be fantastic, because this really does need to get out there. Thank you.